Hey, look at this. We're in the announcer's booth. Did you know that? I'm announcer number one.
I mean,
Huh? Huh?
it was
Look. Doncic carries.
well.
Gain of 3. Second and 7 for the Lions.
I would say our man Jimmy's got some editing to do with this video, but we're going to get it started. 38-15, Dave. Todd Blackledge is in the house. Michael Robinson, part of the NBC team, not here. Dick Girardi stopped by. It was a who's who. Ron Cook was here. Everyone came out to see Drew Aller, and he more than delivered.
Yeah, he did. I was really impressed. You know, when a young quarterback starts the first time, you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, jumpy a lot of times. He had his feet under him. He did everything
Trace
smoothly.
McSorley would sail balls. Sean would sail balls early in their careers just because they were so wound up.
Yeah.
This guy's the opposite.
Well, he's smooth in everything he does. He's poised. He made some mistakes. He should have thrown an interception in the end zone that was dropped. He missed a touchdown pass that would have been 68 yards on a quick slant that they were executing a play. They had the trips over here left with a tight end over there to block, and it went for 9 easy yards in the first half, and they had it completely set up. West Virginia defense went all the other way, and he missed the throw. But so often there were just throws, little ordinary throws where you went, wow, you know, like little 14-yard sideline throws where the ball comes out now, it gets where it's going, and the receiver catches it with all the cushion in the world because of that. And they don't have to make great moves. And his receivers caught just about everything. It was an impressive performance overall.
You can tell the book is still being formed on, if you're a defensive coordinator or a defense.
They're learning.
Defensive backs can't close on the ball.
No.
Like he can throw people open. And Dante Cephas is a 2-time first-team All-MAC receiver, and he was not ready for the 98-mile-per-hour fastball.
It was a little outside.
Right between his arms.
It was a little outside and then no touch, and he threw another one the next ball. So he did make mistakes.
But, I mean, once they get on, they weren't even on the same page yet. They were missing Omari Evans, and I know it's West Virginia, but he can throw on the run. He doesn't get rattled in the pocket. He can buy time. He's not afraid to run, but he never, ever looked nervous, and he looks really calm. And I just think that I can only imagine as he continues to grow, Dave, and get comfortable, like how much better he can get. And he didn't get hit a lot.
And we're just starting to scratch the surface of the receivers.
Yes.
Malik McLean
He's going to be a guy.
With a catch near the end there that made it 31-7 was very impressive. This is something else that Allard did on that throw. It's not always about the throw. It's just recognizing McLean's out there with single coverage. And there's no one behind him. Just get him the ball. Get him the ball. He busts ass downfield and makes just a little move and goes around a guy for a 24-yard touchdown.
Plus
So
I didn't see him. You know, young run quarterbacks, they lock in on one guy. I did not see him do that. He saw multiple guys.
He's seeing.
He found the open guy.
So that's about as much as you can ask. A kid who sees, who doesn't rush, who does things in the parlance of John Wooden, quick but don't hurry. And he did. That's exactly what he did, which is pretty rare for a kid this young. If I do say so, it reminded me of the young Kerry Collins in 1992, the last guy who played, who made his first start against West Virginia, the last quarterback who played against West Virginia for Penn State.
Do you think Mike Yurcich has an extra spring in his step? Do you think just knowing?
Well, either that or thinking, please don't let me screw this up. Please don't let me screw this up.
I think he feels pretty good when he wakes up in the morning and he's just like, well.
Well, he has options.
Yeah.
Now, the Penn State defensive front, I'm curious what you have to say because they kind of got pushed around.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I would say, and I think you wrote about it, I wrote a little bit about it, the one thing West Virginia had going for it was the middle of their offensive line was, the center especially, was really good, and those guys were they were going to be in for a long night, the defensive tackles, and it really showed up. There were some moments early before West Virginia got tired that they were able to move the ball, but it was strange. Their best runner wasn't always in the game.
Why?
And
why wasn't Donaldson in the game?
That should have been a 25 carry.
Oh yeah, man, wear him out. But that's Neil Brown. That's an air raid guy who doesn't quite know how to. He's trying to revise his offense, but he didn't do it very well.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. But the other thing I would say is Penn State's defense. You could see the athleticism. They were out without Keziah Izzard. They were without their slot corner. Daquan Hardy, but they didn't really miss Daquan because this is not really a passing game. But there were so many times in this game where they wouldn't just settle down and keep the quarterback in the pocket. And if they had just played maybe smarter, more structured football, it would have been a much easier night, because the only time their offense really hurt them when they didn't run the big running back was when that guy got outside the pocket. And if they just kept him in the pocket, he couldn't do it.
Garrett Green was probably a little slipperier than they knew. They haven't seen him, and that is his strength. Some bad angles, some missed tackles, but maybe they're a little amped up, first game and everything.
Dave, one more thing we have to get to is I'm a Lehigh Valley guy from Bethlehem.
Ooh, the kicking issues.
I was hopeful that Sander Sahadak, because the lefty from Bethlehem Liberty, I went to Bethlehem Freedom, so that was my arch rival. 2 easy kicks. One was right in the center of the field, and he hooked
32 and 38.
34 and 38.
34 and 38.
He hooked them both, and James actually went to the bullpen, and the kid made the field goal. But that's something that, as the schedule gets trickier, you can't be missing those field goals.
How do you feel about him going to the bullpen right away?
I think it was the right move.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's going to be a tough week on the practice field, and I think that you just cannot, from that distance, you can't miss two kicks like that.
And Jake Pinniger had a couple of rough starts in 18 and 20. I think you guys were looking up, and he got replaced also in 2020.
Jordan Stout had a little action, I think, in 19, and you can always find a guy that can make a 40 or can attempt a 40-yard field goal, but I still hold out hope for the kid from the Lehigh Valley, but they didn't punt the ball well. There was a fair catch on a punt at the 6-yard line. So of all the phases of the game, that was probably the one that's fixable, but it was also, I thought, the biggest problem. You can get away with it against West Virginia and next week against Delaware, but they go to Illinois, they got to clean it up.
Bill O'Brien had a place kicker that had a very, very rough start, and he worked out okay.
Remember? Sam Ficken.
Sam Ficken.
I think we all remember that
Virginia yeah. And he worked out okay, so you never know.
You got to see Kerry Collins play. I didn't get to see him in person, but I don't want to put a lot of pressure on the kid. But I mean, I saw Hackenberg. I saw moments from some other quarterbacks, but this young to be this good, and the key is I don't think he's going to get hit a lot. So it's just a really good sign, and I think as the receivers get better and they get on the same page,
and that
passing game is going to be a strength.
You could say that was the difference between Collins and Hackenberg. That Collins didn't get hit a lot, and Hackenberg did eventually, and that was the difference for a couple of quarterbacks
who got kitchen sinked a lot, unfortunately. And I mean,
for a couple of quarterbacks who aren't terribly mobile, who are classic pro-style pocket quarterbacks, you can't get beat up all the time, and maybe Drew Aller will be so fortunate. Anyway, 38-15. From Beaver Stadium. All in all, a pretty impressive outing for an Oper, and it's Delaware Blue Hens next week, right here.
Yeah. We survived the humidity, so let's hope for a little respite.
It's a little clammy. It's kind of clammy. Are you clammy? I'm kind of clammy. I'm kind of going to get this.
I'm always clammy.
All right, and that's it from Beaver Stadium. Adios.